Hi everyone, my name is Sharon Chappell and I am here today to do a relaxation meditation 15-minute spot for you so that you can take a break from all the wonderful sessions that you've been experiencing with the Gryt Summit. I am a breast cancer survivor of 2 years. My father died from brain cancer 3 days after my diagnosis. And I have an 11-year-old, I had at the time of diagnosis an 11-year-old daughter. She's 13 now. And I needed a lot of help with coping with all the things I was going through. And so I did a lot of art making, and I wrote a children's book in order to help my daughter with the kind of imagination and creativity that I wanted to bring to our journey through cancer. And so I've worked on publishing that book and donating it to families impacted like you by cancer. I also wrote a lot of poetry and did a lot of visual art making. And so I created this poetry book that I'll be reading from today called Wet Wings, Poetry Through Breast Cancer, and all of the images in here are my own as well as the poems. So I hope you enjoy them. And we'll also be doing a little bit of breathing and a little bit of movement here today. So we're going to get started. Find a comfortable seat. Oh, I also wanted to tell you we will be using salt, and I'll be doing a little meditation with you using salt. And so if you could get a piece of paper, and if you have salt, bring that out. I'm just using, the standard salt for this. And so we'll be doing that in a minute. But let's start with our breathing. So I like having a little bit of ambiance to get started. And I'm going to find a comfortable seat. And I'm going to take a deep breath and breathe it out. Get myself all settled. It feels so good. Roll out my shoulders a little bit. Take a deep breath. And out. Take a deep breath. And out. I'm going to rest my hands on my knees. Just breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth, and just rest. I found it very hard to rest during my cancer treatment and my recovery. I wanted to do everything myself. I wanted to, make sure that everyone was feeling okay, and I had a hard time settling and resting and relaxing for me. So I found this breathing time to be very, very helpful, but I'm not very good at sitting still. So what I'm going to show you is a technique after we take some breaths of doing some movement in order to help you kind of settle. So first we'll take a few breaths in and out through the nose. I love that sigh. It's peaceful. It gives in to the body. I breathe in and I tell myself I'm enough. I breathe out and I tell myself I am worthwhile. I breathe in and I tell myself it's okay to feel everything I feel. I breathe out and tell myself it's okay to ask for help. And I listen to the birds and the water. And I let my thoughts pass through me, because for me it's hard to settle down and it's hard to make the thoughts stop. So what I do is I just let them pass. Oh, hello thought. Goodbye thought. Oh, hello, another thought. Goodbye thought. And I just let them pass, and it's okay. And whatever you experience during breathing is okay. So I'm going to start with a poem, and that will get us connected to our breath. So you can keep breathing, listening to the sounds of the water and the birds while I read. And this is the picture that goes with my poem. And it starts, "The shower runs over my body, Water falling over 5 tattooed wounds where the biopsy needles punctured me. Droplets wash away my fears and leave me with blame. What did I take in? Was it the aluminum in my teenage deodorant, exposure to childhood yelling and belittling, the worry for my baby while breastfeeding on antidepressants, fear for my family's stability, all the non-organic foods, teenage cases of Diet Coke, the madness of an unjust world, blaming myself for it all? What caused these cells to grow? My body shivers under the warm water. I try to wash the blame away. What good does it do now? The water falls over my breast and its hidden cancer, tempting me to fall apart. I watch droplets run along the curves of my body and breathe. And breathe again. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the camera so that you can see. I'm going to pour the salt here on my place. You can still do some breathing, and I'm just going to tilt the camera down so you can see the salt. What I do is I just place the salt here. I'm going to use my fingers and feel the texture. I'm just going to move along. Feel it over my fingertips and on my palm. I'm going to open and close my fingers and notice the shapes and drawings I'm making, and then feel it with my palm, feel it on my calluses from gymnastics when I was young. I love the idea of circles and how circles are a unifying shape. Every point on the circle's on the circle's circumference is equidistant from the center. So if you think about that, we are all part of the same circle. We are at the center, and we reach out to the circumference of the earth. I can gather it back up together to get it in a pile again and look at the shape it's made, spiraling outward from my center. That's one of the relaxation techniques you can use. You can use salt or baking soda. You can go into the garden and use the earth in the garden. You can use Play-Doh, homemade Play-Doh. I've used baking soda and water. Makes an oobleck that has a wonderful texture. So just getting those hands moving and feeling and opening and closing and just noticing how it all feels. One of the suggestions that was made at the University of Wisconsin's Mindfulness Center is to do finger tracing. So you can just take the edge of your index finger and run it along the edges of each finger. And take breaths as you do it. Each finger. Do my other hand too. Running my index finger along, or it could be a different finger. Maybe we want to try running the pinky all along and then back together and close. My next poem is about the range of feelings that I was having during cancer and that I still have as a cancer survivor. I've been through chemotherapy, radiation, 4 surgeries. I had my ovaries removed so I could use postmenopausal endocrine therapy. I've been through 4 different endocrine therapy medications. Each one had a different, really difficult side effect, and I finally found one that's working the best it can for me. And I just did a preventative double mastectomy 8 weeks ago, so I'm going through the emotions around recovery and my body changing. I did flat closure, and I just am learning that the range of my emotions are all part of me. And I was so afraid to be sad. I was so afraid to be angry for so long. But now I'm seeing that that's all part of my experience. It's part of going through what we've been through with cancer. So that's what this poem is for. Do you recognize that woman? Trembling hands, I am afraid. Smiling eyes, I am brave. Spilling tears, I am angry. Breathing belly, I am hopeful. There's room for all of it. I walk around doing the day-to-day, the dishes, the laundry, so normal, carrying cancer with me. I want to tuck myself into a ball, relinquish my bravery, give in to sadness. I want to run miles insistent on hope. I want to tell everyone how many emotions I am carrying. I want to be silent and not tell a soul. There's room for all of it. So now we're going to do a little bit of a sun salutation, and I'm not sure how my camera is going to do, but I'm going to stand up, and I'd like everybody to stand up too, and we're going to wiggle our bodies. There we go. And I'm going to do a deep breath, and through the center. Deep breath, and through the center. Deep breath. And I'm going to turn sideways to do this part. I'm going to dive forward. Reach up halfway. Hello, world. And back down. Breathe in. And dive back forward. Reach up halfway. And down. Breathe out. And settle. There we go. And I wanted to end this time with you by reading one of my favorite poems called Witchbird. I was inspired by a Senegal parrot that I rescued during my cancer, and he ended up being a lot of work, too much work for me going through treatment. I didn't realize, but at the time he gave me so much love, and he's back at his rescue and he's with his flock and he's very, very happy. His name is Zoe. He inspired my children's book, and when I moved into the home I'm in now, I have been so thrilled with the number of birds that are around. We have these hummingbird plants, and there are vines, morning glory vines, with birds just flocking in them and hummingbirds dipping their beaks in them for the nectar. And it's a beautiful experience to just listen to that nature and listen to the birds. And it's just something that I'm so thankful to have, to have nature and to be in it. And it's helped me with healing so much. So this last poem that I'm going to read to you is about birds. Oh, and here's, you got to see the illustration here. All these different birds. And I have to tell you, I looked up bird drawings and by kids. And I was so inspired by all the different ways that children draw birds. And so this carving is dedicated to all the children who love birds as much as me. Witchbird. Up in the sky the crow flies, heavy black wings, a caw sounding through silence. It knows the world. Across the garden, the hummingbird spins, rapid streaks of color, its buzz casting spells by the second. It knows magic. On the tallest treetops, a wild parrot sits, gleaming green with dancing claws that laugh at capture. It knows escape. In the curved tiles of the roof, a house sparrow chirps proudly. Grasses fluff and leaves stuff Inside the eaves, preparing a nest, it knows family. We play this game. Which bird is your favorite? But I cannot choose between the world, magic, escape, and family. Each holds a little part of me. Each one tells me something about myself. A little bit of spirit flying here and there beyond my reach. I stamp my foot. During life's game, I won't choose. Then another bird sweeps past my face, almost landing in my heart. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me today, and I send you all of my love and best wishes during your cancer journeys. Please get in touch with me over email, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram under the Little Green Monster Cancer Magic and Wellbeing Studio. And I would love to get in touch. And if you're interested in the arts and healing, let's make work together. Let's partner. Let's get to know each other, because that's what I'm here for. I know it's my calling. I'm just very thankful for each of you and for being part of this movement. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Namaste.